No, we can talk about Alaska Airlines because Jack had to take an airline.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How about that? You start, at the beginning of the show, you were about, hey, get my mask on. And they were these stewardesses are just Nazis when it comes to it.
Absolute Nazis. All right.
So apparently one individual is fighting the man by not wearing a mask on an airline.
Yep.
And well, they called her bluff.
So from NBCnews.com, Alaska Airlines banned state senator for, quote, continued refusal to follow mask rules. Now, at the very beginning of this episode, and you can hear the whole thing at hardlyfocus.com, talked about my trip out west. I talked about how on the planes that I took, they are very, very serious about masks. And if you have your mask down for any reason other than eating or drinking, because they still bring around food, they still bring around snacks, they still bring around sodas. But if you take your mask down for any reason other than to take a bite or take a sip, the stewardesses, stewards, flight attendants, they beeline it right to you and tell you, put your mask on. Like, they ain't fucking around. And if they have a bunch of messages, pre-recorded messages, live messaging that says refusal to wear a mask can result in a hefty fine and even permanently banished from flying that airline. So,
damn.
So from NBC News via the Associated Press in Juneau, Alaska. Alaska Airlines has banned an Alaska state senator for refusing to follow mask requirements, says spokesman Tim Thompson to the Anchorage Daily News last Saturday. We have notified Senator Laura Reinbold that she is not permitted to fly with us for her continued refusal to comply with employee instruction regarding the current mask policy. Reinbold, a Republican, no surprise, of Eagle River, said she had not been notified of a ban and that she had hoped to be on an Alaska Airlines flight in the near future. Last week, Reinbold was recorded in Juneau International Airport arguing with Alaska Airlines staff about mask policies. The video posted to social media appears to show airline staff telling Reinbold her mask must cover her nose and mouth. Reinbold told the newspaper that had been inquiring about a, quote, mask exception with uptight employees at the counter.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as a mask exemption, bitch. All right?
Yeah.
I can't wear a mask because I have asthma. No, you don't fucking do that, okay? Shut the fuck up.
I have asthma.
You wear a mask?
Fine.
All right, yeah.
It's fine.
I think there's like Olympic level athletes are like, I have asthma and I can train with a mask. Shut the fuck up.
I love how people just don't think about doctors. They don't think about surgeons.
Yeah. Oh, I was in a 20-hour surgery putting a brain into somebody else's head successfully. Oh, and I wore I double mask every single surgery, okay? And I don't die of asphyxiation, you fucking morons. God.
The senator here says, quote, I was reasonable with all Alaska Airlines employees.
Sure. Yeah, she was reasonable until the video comes out at some point later.
Yeah.
My rights.
Yeah. Fucking cunt.
Someone who is just a complete asshole to people in the service industry will always defend themselves by saying they were being reasonable. Like, yeah, screaming at them, throwing a temper tantrum. Yeah, that's being reasonable.
Good point. Almost every single one I've seen, they are all...
I'm just being reasonable.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've worked in customer service before. I've seen and heard what people complain about when I have shut them down and hung up on them, cut them off when they were being belligerent assholes when they go to the next person and say, oh, I was being nothing but respectful. And
really? Really? Because that doesn't seem like it's what's happening.
To which the person talking to him says, I could hear you through their headset. You were swearing at them. We have clearly different definitions of reasonable here. The article goes on to say, last year she referred to Alaska Airlines staff as, quote, mask bullies after being asked by flight attendants to wear a mask aboard a flight, the newspaper reported. After the incident, she reportedly sent a cake to some flight attendants bearing the inscription, I'm sorry I offended you.
I would not be eating that cake, even if it was a store-bought cake.
Same.
I would not trust anything from her.
throw
Yeah.
it back in her face. That's what I would do.
It's full of roofies.
Apparently,
and
Alaska
laxatives.
Airlines has banned over 500 people.
Yeah, good.
And Alaska Airlines is the only airline that flies from Anchorage to Juneau.
Yes.
Which means Little Miss, Karen Moosefucker up here has to take apparently 3 jaunts in a car, may or may not have to go into Canada and back out, and then does have to take a ferry, which makes her 1 hour, 2 hour flight into a 14 to 16 to 24 hour drive. Yeah.
Be a dick.
Yeah, it's not easy to get to where she wants to go. Like, it will take multiple days, and if she only needs to travel into Juneau for like a 1 day thing, like, it's a trek and a half. I forget what they're called, like milk runs or something like that, where it's like a flight will actually make multiple stops where people can just like get on and off, very similar to like a bus, like public transportation, just because it's the only way you can travel up there.
Oh yeah, it's fucking huge.
Yeah. So
Texas fits in Alaska easily, and Texas is fucking huge.
do you think she thought about that? Do you think she even considered that when
No.
she was doing this?
No,
No.
because thinking about consequences with somebody who doesn't want to wear a mask for convenience, not
Never.
exactly in the forefront of her brain, or has a forefront of her brain.
Probably still doesn't even think about it.
No. I
It's
think,
probably like, this is unfair. I'm being
Me,
bullied.
me.
yeah. Don't think about anybody
you.
else. Yeah. Think only about yourself. She even looks like a Karen too. If you've seen a picture of her, she looks like the kind of person who would throw a shit fit in a supermarket over expired
and she
coupons.
looks like I'm a very proper Karen. Like, I'm not getting mad. Okay, I am just explaining my rights.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
The article.
I'll never get it, man. I'll never get what the big deal is. It's like even people are complaining like the mask mandate in Massachusetts has changed. If you've been vaccinated, you can go outside and not wear a mask, and everyone's like, you could do that the whole time. And I was like, dude, I don't care. It's not super hurtful for me to just wear a mask, and I don't care if it hurts, helps. Like, I'm just gonna do. I do care if it. I don't care if like it's worthless.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. When I was outdoors in California, if I was around people that I didn't know, if I was in a public place and I was outside, I wore a mask. But the way I do it now too is if I'm taking and Cooper's in the room with me. So if I take a vertical movement through a public area where people can gather, my dog unfortunately knows select words, then I won't wear a mask because I'm not going to be on top of people. Like if I see someone coming down the other side of the path, I will just move over. There's plenty of space between us, and the same people out there. Very rarely do I see anyone wearing masks. But if you're doing something like that, like, okay, people will look past it because, I keep one in my pocket, but I'm not going to actively wear it when I'm out there walking around. Now, if I'm going into the supermarket, absolutely, I'll wear a mask. If I'm going into a building, if I'm going into like a public place, especially if I'm going to be around strangers, I'm going to wear a mask. When concerts come back, even if they say, hey, you need to wear a mask to go to a concert, I'll fucking wear a mask. I don't care. I'll do it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I'll do it.
I'm more worried about standing. Like I haven't stood for hours and God knows how long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's more inconvenient to stand for several hours than it is to wear a mask. Guess what? I had to wear a mask for at least a 12-hour period while traveling through airports and sitting on an airplane. And I did it. It sucked, but I did it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Just like it's not hard to go out and get a fucking vaccine. It's not difficult. And guess what? Things are getting better. Things are opening up because people are getting vaccinated, because numbers are going down. Around here, anyway. Around here. And I'm serious when I say this. I have nothing but genuine concern and my thoughts and whatever go out to India because they're getting fucked sideways right now. Like I know it was COVID fatigue. A lot of this was brought on by COVID fatigue, but they're getting What's happening there is pretty much what happened to us last winter. Hopefully it will get better, but it sucks. So hopefully, people can take pointers from us, because we are doing our best impression of New Zealand right now. Because remember, New Zealand beat this last year. So anyway, don't be a fucking dumbass. Wear a mask. If someone tells you to wear a mask, just fucking do it.
Nothing matters. Doesn't matter if you this or you feel anyway. Your feelings don't matter. It's not about you. It's about everybody.
Right.